Hi there, everybody. Welcome to another album review. My name is Christian Eschbach. Hey there, everyone. So we are going to do something different and new, coming back after this long break from album reviews. No intentional rhyming there. So Black Sabbath Headless Cross is where we're going to start this. And while I'm just reviewing Black Sabbath Headless Cross, this specific version is out of the Black Sabbath Anno Domini 1989 to 1995 set. This is Black Sabbath with Tony Iommi, obviously on guitar. It's Black Sabbath's his band. Drums, you have the legendary Cozy Powell. Vocals, you have Tony Martin, very underrated and underknown. I don't know how to put that. Unknown. He's not unknown, but he's underknown, definitely. Keyboards, we got Jeff Nichols, and bass, we got Lawrence Cottle. Jeff Nichols on keyboards. Jeff Nichols is someone who has popped up off and on throughout Black Sabbath history. This album was produced by Tony Iommi and Cozy Powell, and let me say, I'm one of those Black Sabbath kind of purists where to me Black Sabbath is the original four. You got Tony, you got Ozzy, you got Bill, and you got Geezer. Okay, so to me, I'm a purist that way, but I was such a hardcore purist for the longest time that it's blocked me out for a long time of actually taking the time and effort to explore outside of Black Sabbath. And then I delayed because they were doing remasters of everything, right? So when I found out they were doing remasters of everything, I decided to wait until all the remasters came out. And this was part of the remaster set, which was really cool. So I got all four albums. I am going to talk about the set as its own special review as well. I want to do each album individually, and then we'll get into this cool box set on its own afterwards. All right, so the album opens up with Gates of Hell. This is just kind of a little soundscape intro piece, typical for something from Black Sabbath. It works. Like when compared to a lot of their other kind of intro pieces or instrumental exploratory kind of pieces, this doesn't have the same kick, but it does the trick. That goes into Headless Cross, which right away lets you know that this is a Sabbath album. The sound is there, the riffing is there. It's not your typical Sabbath album though. Over the years, my perception when it comes to bands doing split up, going solo, making supergroup stuff like that has really kind of augmented and changed. Alice Cooper, for example, I am a huge fan, and my favorite Alice Cooper album, my favorite two Alice Cooper albums are from the original group, the Alice Cooper group. But Alice, my third favorite album, is most definitely post the original group. And that third album never would have been possible if the original band had stayed together, Same thing with this. This album never would have been possible if the original band had stayed together. And based on stuff that was going on at this time, like this album was released in 1988. So if you go back and look at what Ozzy was releasing in 1988, Ozzy wasn't doing so great either. And really, comparing this to, I forget which album it would be. Okay, in the comments below, let me know which album it is. It's the one right before No More Tears, and for the life of me, it's slipping my mind. So that's what the comment section is for, folks. Which Ozzy album is it that I'm forgetting about? If you compared this album to that album, though, that's how memorable that album was, that I just, for the life of me, can't remember it. This is by far a better album, and I have said this before, and I will say it again. I do truly believe that it was Sharon Osbourne that is responsible for keeping Black Sabbath held down and held back. If this album had gotten the airplay that it deserved, because some of the tracks on here are really good. Um, if this album had gotten the airplay it deserved, Ozzy's No More Tears may never have happened, man. It might have been that blow to Ozzy's ego. Headless Cross, like I was saying though, Headless Cross kicks off this album really well. Really strong, really solid. Lets you know it's a Black Sabbath album. Really gets in it. My only complaint on Headless Cross, which is one of the complaints I'd have throughout this whole album, is Tony Martin has a lot of multi-layer vocaling on here, which sounds great on the album, but that's not going to be something for live. You know, you're not going to be able to hit it right, or you're going to have to use tapes, or you're going to have to use a little slight delay. You can create a half decent multi-tracking live by doing like a 2-frame delay on the vocals, but you got to do a 2-frame delay, and then you got to pan it between speakers and stuff like that. It's doable, but it's a pain in the ass. And that'd be my only complaint about this whole album, is when it gets into the multi-track choruses and stuff like that. Devil and Daughter. Okay, Devil and Daughter I really dig. This one really got me kind of going, really kind of really just kind of sinks me in, man. Really got me going on that one. I get into the chorus, I start singing along with that one, which is really nice. When Death Calls. I really like When Death Calls. When Death Calls might actually be one of my favorite songs on this album, if not my favorite song on this album. After that, we got Killing the Spirit World. This one's an interesting one. I dig on this one. Lyrically, I don't pay attention to it so much. Musically, it pushes the album along, moves it through, which is really kind of nice. Call of the Wild's not bad. Black Moon I enjoy. Right Wing doesn't really do anything for me. And then, although, okay, Black Moon's really good. Right Wing, well, it doesn't do anything for me. It's actually still a decent song. And then you got Cloak and Dagger, which I feel finishes out the album with a really nice kind of jazz groove kind of going on. A real kind of good jazz hook into it. Most of this, though, for the most part, if you know Black Sabbath, like really, truly love and know Black Sabbath, even if you only listen to the Ozzy years, this is definitely a Black Sabbath album. There are definitely parts that are missing and don't feel the same. Like, is the drumming Bill Ward? No, the drumming's not Bill Ward. Is it Geezer Butler on bass? No, it's not Geezer Butler on bass. But Lawrence Cottle, well, doing the job. I gotta say, the bass really, compared to most Black Sabbath albums, I feel like the bass really is kind of a little bit missing in the mix. But, you know, Tony Iommi and Cozy Powell are the producers of this album, and when you put the drummer and the guitarist in charge of the production, you're going to lose the bass. Those are all jokes aside, folks. I'm not making any actual accusations or anything like that way. Realistically, it just all the way around a really good, enjoyable album. Just on its own, would I recommend this album? Absolutely. If you can find the digital remaster of this album, this is a really good album. If you like power metal, this would be Black Sabbath goes power metal. That's the best way I know how to take it. Definitely more of a European kind of influence on this album, less of that American blues jazz influence on the album, you know, when you're comparing that way. Definitely a lot more, yeah, just power metal, man. Like, it really is. It's the best way to call this. This is a lot more of a power metal kind of album. Still classic Sabbath, but classic Sabbath doing power metal. And now that I'm repeating myself so much over and over. This was recorded between August and November of '88 at Sound Mill, Woodcray, and Amazon Studios. Other than that, I really don't have too much else to say about this album. I do like the artwork. The artwork's pretty cool. Yeah, that's it, folks. Let me know what you think. That's what the comment section is for. Have you listened to this album? What do you think of this album? I personally think you should go out and check out this album. That's cross purposes, folks. My thoughts, my views, my opinions. Your thoughts and views and opinions is what the comment section is for. Let me know what you think. On your way down there, please hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell for notifications. That helps me out, helps you out, helps everybody out. It's a great thing. Outside of that, peace, love, take care.